Let the gardening begin. First time in the garden this year, and we're going to see how it goes. Hello everybody, Papa Blue Shirt here. First time out in my garden this year. Let's take a walk through and see what things look like. Well, as you can see, not very many weeds. This weed cloth really helps. This weed cloth is probably 8 years old, maybe longer. And holding up real well. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to pull out some of this old stuff, and I'm going to start exchanging the soil in these holes. Last year I gave you a little bit of a teaser about my in-ground container garden, and this is pretty much what it entails. What you do is you pull all the soil out of each of these holes, and then you replace it with good soil. And what that does is it keeps the soil from getting old, because if you've ever used one of these tarps, everything is dead underneath here except right where the hole is. And once it uses up all the stuff from that hole, then that pretty much gets old and doesn't grow very well. But what I'll be able to do is I'll replace the soil. I'll use an auger. I'll go down and I'll replace the soil out of there. And then once I do that, it'll be nice soil, so it's like a container all within itself. Let's go ahead and get going on this, and I'll show you what I mean. And you can see how I'm doing this. Take most of the dirt out and I just leave the excess. And then I put a scoop of the loamy soil in, or the new potting soil, and then brush in the dirt that's around it. This way I get a mixture. You know, let's stir it up like that too. But you could put straight potting soil in if you wanted to. I'm too cheap. And what this does is it leaves nice soil for your new transplants. What I do is I try to do this like a month ahead of time, and that gives it a chance to be rained on, and it'll seep down a little bit. And if there's any raccoons in the area, they can come over, investigate it, and dig it up and see if there's anything in there for them without messing up my plants. There ain't nothing more discouraging when you put in a bunch of new transplants and you come back the next day and they're all dug up. This way they get old and they don't pay them as much mind, and hopefully I won't have as much of a problem with that. I'm also going to put some sulfur down here. I don't think they like that smell. I'll see how that works. And if that don't work, I'll get some ammonia. Put some mothballs or something around here. Well, that's how I do this. Put a scoop in, and I put a little dirt in. Put a scoop in, put a little bit more dirt in. Scoop in, more dirt in. Mix it all together. Try to keep the weeds out as much as possible. You know, last year I did something really different on the weeding thing. Usually by the end of like July or June or something like that, I can't get in the garden because of the weeds. Even though I got this weed cloth, the weeds will grow right on top of it. And what I've been doing is there's some garden weeding feed, and I just sprinkle it all around my whole on top of the tarp. When it rains, it goes to all the corners where all the weeds are going to grow. And last year, you know, this is what I ended up with. most of this stuff in the holes, it grew over the winter. So I didn't have hardly any weeds at all. And most importantly, I was able to stay in the garden all year. So, well, I gotta go empty that because that's getting heavy. Well, I was able to do 32 holes. Those holes are 1 foot apart. So what I do is I put the peppers in one hole and then I put onion or something smaller in the other holes. And then that gives me the correct spacing. And so out of a 5-gallon bucket, I got 32 holes. Almost made it to the end. I think if I don't go quite as deep, I'll be able to go all the way to the end. That'll be about 40 holes then. And so it'd just be a 5-gallon bucket on each hole. That'd be great. But that's all I'm going to do for tonight. It's getting kind of late. Don't have to get it all done. I still have a month before I can plant. So I'm going to go and get some sulfur. Sprinkle a little sulfur on each of those holes. And maybe that'll keep the raccoons from digging it out. Alrighty, this is Papa Boucher. We'll see you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And may the good Lord take a liking to you.
May the good Lord take a liking to you. Hallelujah. May He spread His blessings on your trail. Hallelujah. May He be your guide anywhere you ride, and be always your host when you're needing Him most. May the good Lord take a liking.